Stock market today analysis for Monday, January 30th, 2023. The first trading month of 2023 is almost over. And in the description of this video, you'll find a link to ihavesuccess.com, which you can download these 4 fine downloads for free. When you use these two in combination with a playlist entitled Trading Options for Beginners in the same description where you find the link to I Have Success, you can use those 5 videos and these 2 downloads to start yourself paper trading to sell cash secured put options. When you're selling cash secured put options on a company that you wouldn't mind owning, it puts you in this position that at expiration you really don't care what happens. You either keep the premium because the option expired worthless, or you keep the premium and you take ownership of stock of a company because the option did not expire worthless. It's actually a fantastic way to have a busy life doing a lot of other things and still profiting from the stock market. And over time, as you accumulate different shares of companies, especially if they pay dividends, you're really building up your asset column while reducing your cost basis for each of those assets. And what I'll do is at the 2-minute mark, which is right here, it's coming up. Boom! You saw it right there. That link is to a video that doesn't tell you how to sell cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning, but it tells you why. And when you know why, figuring out the how to is a lot easier. Right now, we are looking at the futures. Not every single future, but the ones that I like to look at. So we got the VIX future came up on this candle today. A little bit at the range, top of the range. We see the 4 major stock indices sold off in the futures today, and these new candles are opening up at the bottom of the range, which kind of makes sense. Sometimes it's kind of the polar opposite of what's going on here in the VIX and vice versa. 10-year treasury, ever since it pivoted here on touching this 200-day moving average, it has been moving up, right here. And for crude oil, pulling back a little bit, right? Had been wavering around right a little bit above 80, right around that 80, a little bit above. Now pulling back to about 77.5, which is not a big deal because it's kind of in this trading range of about 70 to 80, just pulling down in there. Natural gas still continues to go lower. Man, how much lower can it go? We will see, but it's going lower. Look at how these candles are getting kind of a lot of major volume in these two, but not major movement down, but it's still moving down. Gold prices continue moving up over the course of the month, but kind of petering off the last 3 candles here. But you notice, even though these candles have been selling off, hey, come on, let me see if we can do this. There we go. Even though these candles have been selling off here, it's still like, maybe, let's see, let's do it this way. Still in that, okay, it's in the bottom 50% of the body of this candle, but it hasn't broken that yet. So if it kind of wiggles in that room, we will see what happens. What I've learned with gold over time is that seems like whenever it's going up strong, sooner or later, somehow it kind of falls back down, and sometimes it just defies normal charting. Silver continued to move sideways. Bitcoin riding this 200-day moving average at the moment, riding it down. If it stays on the top and it just rides it down, well, we will see how that goes. Let's look at the general markets, excluding Bitcoin, crude oil, and gold, since we already looked at those. But UUP, which is basically the index of the dollar, is basically, you see it kind of riding sideways. A little bit up, a little bit down, but overall, kind of sideways. TLT, 20-year bonds, sold off from this pivot point high. However, had this day of rallying up and then sort of floating back down. When was it gold that we looked at gold, and had been 3 candles and it was still like not to the bottom of this body. So we had on the 3rd candle here, it touched the bottom of this body but closed up here. 4th candle, we're kind of closing down here. So I don't know if that's really significant. We got a pivot here, we got a pivot here, which I don't know if you could say that was a pivot right there. Well, it seems to be just kind of going sideways at the moment. Yeah, there was that gold contract we're talking about. So VIX, the volatility index, spiked up a bit, where yesterday closed down here and gapped up this morning, spiking up, and we got a sell-off in all the major indices, with the Russell 2000 prices pushing all the way to the bottom. Looks like in the, come on, ooh boy, this is not helping me out here. Where's the drag feature? Yeah, good enough. So you see it prices pulled back just a little bit. You can see just a tiny bit of a tail in there. Just a tiny bit of the tail. Pulled back a little bit here and pulled back a little bit here. But overall, we got this sell-off in the market and hit this hit the high yesterday, right? Hit a high on the SPX, high on the NASDAQ yesterday. It was last Friday, sorry, but whatever. Also over here, so just to pull back just a little bit from a high. That's not really, I don't know if that's that big of a deal. It's not necessarily the greatest thing, but look, we had, look at the sell off here, rally back up, right? So it can, we got a volatile market, just kind of going up and down a bit. How about these 12 sectors? Technology sold off. Wow, healthcare really sold off. Banks, financials, it didn't really sell off, but it's a green candle, but it's like closed barely above where it opened. And look at it, prices went all the way up here. Oh, let's just not let there. That's what I want. You see prices went all the way up here. Selling pressure just pushed them down. How about the industrials? Sold off, but rallied up, came down over here in the basic materials. Similar, right? We got these similar candles right here. Oh, this one has a longer body. Similar candle. We got these like upside down hammers. Similar over here. A little bit longer body, but similar there. Some more selling pressure in here. And energy really sold off quite a bit over this month-long uptrend. Not sure. We could be possibly breaking that uptrend. We'll see if it kind of continues back, but it looks like it's kind of getting weak and petering out. What else? What else? Well, look on our handy dandy line chart, and you see prices touching here, touching here, touching here. 3 times, kind of trying to get up into this range and then pulled back. I don't know what the time frame of this is. Maybe I can figure that out. Right in there. Okay, going back to the about September. Hit that again. So not so surprising that it pulls back around this. From the September one, it pulls back here and drops all the way down here. Once eventually it gets back up to this top again in this range, when it sells off, it's like sells off half as much. So how much is it going to sell off now? Maybe is it going to come down here? We could be seeing a bit of a bull run. Now, most there's a couple people that I pay money to listen to their commentary on the market, and maybe more than a couple, right? Maybe more than two. I think a couple is two. So like say a handful. And two of the ones that that publish stuff for me to listen to every day, they don't really feel like this bear is over yet. That's generally kind of the consensus, that they don't feel it's over. Maybe if some kind of quantitative easing, Operation Twist, just massively lowering interest rates, that might bring back some of this kind of not superficial, but it's not really fake either. I mean, these numbers are real, but what is it going up on? It's like bubble-ish type of rally. Inflated, that's what I'm trying to think of, this inflated type of pushing things up. So I would, what I am personally doing, so if I say what I would do, I mean, this is literally what I am doing, is I'm being careful to the downside. I'm still, I'm acknowledging that we got lows, higher low, higher low. You could say higher low, higher low. But that doesn't mean we're out of the bare woods. Right? It still could come down. Now today's type of action, action that was going on when we see in this pullback, we could be getting a bit of a W, possibly, right? But if it's going to go up, we got to see it go up past these points, and then eventually past this one. So be ready. My recommendation is be ready for any direction. Be ready for it to go up, down, or sideways. Why? Because that's the three directions it can go. I'm still thinking sideways at the moment. I don't know how far it can go up to the top, but we're in earnings, and it's just from what I'm seeing. And the beauty about this is that like I'm not in a position where I'm trying to make videos that say, hey, look it, I correctly called this. I honestly, it's not that I don't care. I want to accurately call it, because the more accurate I can call it, the more money I can make. But that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I want to make these videos to help you figure out how you can call it. But remember, you do not have to be absolutely positive to make money. If you're, yeah, you don't. Now, if you're directionally trading, then you do. So guess what? Do a trade that you don't have to be absolutely positively sure on that. And what could that be? Well, one thing could be selling cash secured put options on a stock that you don't mind owning. And I know I talk about this all the time, but I'll tell you what, the reason why I talk about this all the time is because, golly gee, that's the stinking mission over here, to help people sell cash secured put options, right? Because I just love how great it is, right? There's two things that can happen at expiration. And there's these two things, and regardless of which one of those two things happen, this is your financial statement. income column, expense column, liability column, asset column. So what happens, you sell a cash secured put option on a stock you don't mind owning, right? Even if the market's going down. Now there's a little bit of finesse to it, right? You can't just blindly be selling options. There's a little bit to it. That's why you need to watch that stuff in the beginning. Download that stuff, get yourself familiar with it. But let's look at a big picture of why. Let's look at a reason why. One thing that can happen is that the option expires worthless. When the option expires worthless, guess what? You make money because you got to keep the premium. So when this happens, this money goes into your income column. Now, what's another thing that could happen? Another thing that could happen is the option does not expire worthless. But guess what? You still keep this premium. That premium still goes into your income column. And a little something else happens. Now you take ownership of paper assets. And if you're following the formula that I use myself, not only do these assets go into your asset column, but they're income producing paper assets. So now your assets over here are flowing money into your income column over here. So where's the losing situation here? Do you lose money if it expires worthless and you make money? Nope, you can't make money and lose money at the same time, right? Then you'd be breaking even. You made money. You literally took in premium, you brought it over here. How about if you get assigned? Well, the premium, it still flows to your income column. Those assets flow into your asset column. And if you're doing it properly, you have some dividends. And I know you could sell covered calls on it and all this stuff, and you got more money flowing into your asset column. So this is really easy. No matter what your schedule is like, you can do this. No matter what's going on, you got kids, you don't have kids, you're busy, you're not busy. If you're not busy, you can do this, and you can add more complicated trading strategies. But if you are really busy, forget about the complicated trading strategies. At least in the beginning, if you don't have time to manage them, don't worry about it. What do you have to manage here? You make money on this because a lot of the option trading strategies, it's like by expiration date. You have a limited window, and as you're coming closer to that limited window, if you need to make an adjustment or you need to do something, you have to do that. Otherwise, you could potentially lose money. With this, the only way you can really lose money is by picking a crappy stock to be doing this on, and that stock goes out of business. So spend some time of learning how to pick good stocks. Read the course material, review the videos that I have for you, and you know, that is not the be all end all, right? Because this is the beginning to begin your trading journey. It's not the be all end all. It's the beginning. And I'll tell you what, your good buddy Brent is going to steer you in the right direction of starting in a way that allows you to grow and be in a safe place. The other thing I really love about selling the cash secured put options is that since it becomes more difficult to lose money. Now, granted, you might not make nearly as much return on investment as you can with other trades, right? So I get it. That's really part of the trade-off, is you are definitely being the tortoise. But what's great is, especially when you're a beginner, you just see yourself succeeding and succeeding and succeeding, winning, winning, winning. So that's wonderful as a beginning trader, is to just have like 6 months, 12 months of just racking up the wins, racking up the wins, racking up the wins. You know, if you go a couple weeks with making money and then you go 1 week with losing money, depending on how much money you lose, it can really be devastating to the self-esteem. So with that, my friends, I got some stuff I got to finish up outside of I Have Success. I will see you mañana. Aloha.